I admit I done made some mistakes, and I have some imperfect ways. I admit I helped so many people, and them same damn people turn fake. I admit it was so hard to focus. I didn't go to classes. I admit that I dropped out of school. I admit that I wasn't that cool. I admit I just feel like retired. Admit I just don't feel like trying. But all my real niggas around me keep telling me, Kels, fuck that, you gotta keep climbing. I admit it, I did. I done fuck with a couple of fans. I admit I'm a gift and a curse. I admit that I don't go to church. I admit it, I made it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did it. I admit I got so many flaws. Told so many lies to these bras. Blew so much money, pop so many bottles. Yeah, I fuck a bitch just because. Nigga, I had a hell of a day, but I admit I was in my own way. I admit I had my mama crying over me. What else can a nigga say? I admit I can't spell for shit. I admit that all I hear is hits. I admit I couldn't read the teleprompter when the Grammys asked me to present. I admit I love God, but wait, it's so much temptation, but wait. Admit to the drinking and smoking too much, but it helped me get through the day. Won't say no names and never snitch, but one night at the Ritz, did some shit should've did. When it fuck a nigga's bitch. I admit that I did. I fucked my girlfriend's best friend. Yeah, I topped that in back of my pants. I admit I'm sorry for my sins. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did. Yeah. I admit I trust people too much. I admit I can't say such and such, but my lawyers told me settle this, even though it's bullshit. Can't protect your career. All these people in my ear. I admit I've been tempted by drugs. I admit that I just need a hug. I admit the devil talk to me sometimes, but the devil's not who I trust. I've been fucked by so many damn managers. Why they push me out front of these cameras? All this music I done dated them and let it play me like a fucking amateur. I got a life, yeah. I got a right, yeah. Cancel my shows, that shit ain't right. How they gon' say you don't respect these women when all I've done is represent? Take my career and turn it upside down, cause you bet I've got some girlfriends. And with this record, it ain't worth this shit for real. I ain't seen my kids in years. They try to lock me up like this. How much can a nigga take? How much can a nigga pray? Just wanna do my music, stop stressing me. Please just let me age gracefully. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did. 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 They took my gift and they blind me. Where the fuck is my money? Now here come this big ass conspiracy. I still got my fans, that's a blessing. Listen to heaven, just stay on my grind and that's 24/7. And I know my mama Joanne is smiling down on me. I put that on Reverend. Been a grown man since age 11. 9 on the guap since 7. Rest in peace to my homie Kevin. I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did. I admit I'm a freak. Used to go to strip clubs every week. But who these niggas tryna say I am? Man, I'm not, and I put that on chief. I admit I fuck with all the ladies. That's both older and young ladies. But tell me how they call it pedophile because of that shit, that's crazy. You may have your opinions, entitled to your opinions. But really, am I supposed to go to jail or lose my career because your opinion? Yeah, go ahead and stone me. Point your finger at me. Turn the world against me. Like only God can mute me. I admit that I fired some people. I admit that I hired new people. I admit that those people I fired on my mama was crooked ass people. I admit that I don't know my music. I admit that I roll on my music. Want it back, but they don't wanna do it. What the fuck, nigga? I wrote that music. I did that bumping ground. I did that 12 play. I did that fed up. I changed the damn game. So I deserve me a fair play. So put some respect on my damn name. Now Wendy Williams mad with me, but I ain't never offer her no drink. But I admit that she asked me, can I get a little Hennessy? Then we both turned off our phone. We drink, I smoke, we talk. And I admit that I told it all. From my good points to my faults. She said, what about Aaliyah? I said, love. She said, what about the tape? I said, hush. I said, my lawyer said, don't say none. But I can tell you I've been set up. I admitted how ever since the first day that without knowing I signed my publishing away. I admitted I was young and caught up, so blind, yeah. Said I had dyslexia, couldn't read all the contracts, yeah. And now the truth in this message is I'm a broke-ass legend. The only reason I stay on tour is cause I gotta pay my rent. I never thought that it would come to this, to being the most disrespected artist. So I had to write a song about it, cause they always take my words and twist it. Believe me, it's hard to admit all this, but I'm in my feelings about this shit. But I had to set the fucking record straight. So I admit it, I admit it. I admit it, I did it. I admit it, I did. I admit it, I did. I admit I love Steve Harvey, John Legend, and Tom Joyner. They're doing good in their lives right now. Why would they wanna tear down another problem? Women show black men some love, cause black men, we go through enough. How can we get up off the ground when we steady tear each other down? I admit that the devil is busy, and some people beside me ain't with me. I admit that I'm gonna do this music up until the Lord come get me. Now, I admit a family member touched me. Touch me, touch me, touch me. From a child to the age 14. Yeah. While I laid asleep, took my virginity. So scared to say something, so I just put the blame on me. Now here I am and I'm trying my best to be honest. Cause there's forces out there trying to keep me from being the artist. I admit I'm at rock bottom, and this shit has rocked my mind. I'm calling on my hood, come walk by my side. They don't want me to shine. Women's group, my God. Now don't get it twisted, I do support them, but why they wanna bring down the art? Damn, this is breaking my heart. Cause from fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters, I'm a part of the music culture. Spotify took me off their playlist. I admit that I've been underrated. I'm not convicted, not arrested, but drag my name in the dirt. All this work to be successful, and you abandoned me cause of what you heard. I admit I am not perfect. I never said I was perfect. Say I'm abusing these women. What the fuck, that's some absurd shit. They brainwash, really? Kidnap, really? Can't eat, really? Real talk, that shit sounds silly. And if you really, really wanna know, a father dropped her off in my show and told his boy to put her on the stage. I admit that she was overage. I admit that I was feeling her, and I admit that she was feeling me. I admit that that's just some shit to come with being a celebrity. I ain't chasing these ladies, no. These ladies are chasing me, yeah. And I'm only saying all this shit cause how they tryna play me, yeah. I admit that this is no disrespect to the parents, but this is my advice to you, cause I'm also a parent. Don't push your daughter in my face and tell me that it's okay, cause your agenda is to get paid and get mad when it don't go your way. I know y'all look at me like I don't go through things, but I'm human. I know it's hard sometimes, but try to keep in mind that I'm human. Fuck all the fortune and fame, forget the name, I'm a human. I can't believe all the under the table shit they doing. I'm tired of fingers pointed at me. I'm tired of all this weight on me. I'm tired of everybody wanting a piece of me. Shit, I'm not an ATM machine. What do I do when I can't do what I do? How can I win if I can't win with you? Got a couple of dead homies that I promised I would make it out this shit. And I know that God's hand is on me.
You heard what he said? He said, how can I win if I can't win with the truth? What's funny is I done heard all these people on these platforms. I even heard when they came out after the convictions talking about, well, his lawyers conceded to this and conceded to that. Now, I ain't the smartest person in the world, but I'm pretty damn sure if a person is adamant that they're not guilty of a crime, they ain't gonna be in the trial conceding to shit. From my perspective, the groundwork that was laid out is that these attorneys had limitations in their approach to these so-called bad act witnesses. And some of these people know that. And that's just mighty funny. We could pile up all of these people, get them to collude on these public platforms. We could let them go into court and be Jane Does. But they could be all on public platforms doing the most. And that's why we're going to review this specific video in case people missed this back then. Because you're going to hear a lot of misinformation from even a witness that they used. Because from my perspective, maybe some of these people that were used didn't know the extent that things were going. But it don't change my position. Like I said from day one, I didn't need a lot of these janky ass sources that wanted to come out here and do some of these janky ass interviews. So when I saw people on the supporter side want to jump in the bunch and they wanted to skip past some questionable shit that was going on, of course I had to side eye them the same way I would side eye these people who allowed these individuals to overpower their common sense. You're going to hear in this clip exactly what I know to be true, and that is a lot of these people, or let me say some of these people, I ain't going to say a lot, some of these people frequent a lot of these channels. They just watch these channels. Maybe they're subscribers, maybe they're moderators, whatever the case may be. But from that, if they could utilize these content creators to share their stories, that's cool. I've always said, ain't nothing wrong with sitting around listening to these people talk and tell their stories. But if you ain't collecting the context clues as to why I knew that if these charges were properly defended, R. Kelly would have beat his cases, period, point blank. If you wanted the key source to where to look for where all this shit started, the man told you himself. Even when it came to why my focal point was the Aaliyah situation and the tape situation. But what I wasn't going to do is keep arguing with people who wanted to keep asserting their opinions on my platform. When it came to the specific charge we're talking about on tonight, it's bribery. So when you have your witness get on the stand and essentially say that R. Kelly had no knowledge of an alleged bribery that took place, yet we're going to allow the governments to still put this under this RICO in order to charge this man with this specific bad act. And then we're going to include another witness with her traumatized story that just don't add up. Is that evidence? Is that the truth? Let's review.
Okay, Devontae is back. All right, Devontae, go ahead, boo.
All right, I'm sorry, you guys. Like I said, I'm not that well versed in StreamYard, but to the young lady who is speaking, as I said before, we can agree to disagree. But it is very disrespectful and disheartening for you to come on a platform and speak to situations, one, that you don't know anything about, two, that you probably weren't even alive when they started, and three, you're not telling the whole truth.
So pause right there. When these people decided to come out here and tell their stories, right, they had every right. The problem came into play when these people, they're Billy Badass on these platforms. They can huff, puff, cry, and yell and scream and shit. But then they could turn around and go run to the government talking about people harassing them, intimidating them. They in the courts as Jane Doe's when why in the hell is you on these platforms antagonizing the situation? Oh, because you got to make everybody believe that what you said is true instead of just sitting back, letting the process take its course, as I said, and everybody on both sides gets shit twisted when it comes to my position on the charges versus all the storylines that came up until then. All these people who volunteered to come on these platforms and show me why this justice system is flawed, why this case need to be reopened, and some people might need to learn how to shut the fuck up.
You want to speak about Azriel Clary and Faith Rogers. Let's take those two individuals out. It was proven in court. You weren't there. I know for a fact you weren't. It was proven in court that she does have herpes and that it was contracted from Robert. Everything that was testified in court, and there were several women that testified, is called pseudonyms. People did not testify under their government names for their own protection. So it's okay for you to feel how you feel. You're
for their own protection, but it was cool for everybody to make who these individuals are publicly known. That makes sense. It was proven in court that she contracted this disease and contracted it from R. Kelly. That's a lie. What they did was bring in this doctor talking about what he prescribed, which again, was there his physician in there saying, I diagnosed this man of this disease on this date. He was fully aware on this date he had it. So from that date, there is the exposure element. Oh no, we're going to give somebody that's breaking the law the opportunity to come in there and make it seem like something more than it is.
You're human. You have a right to formulate your own opinions. But what you don't have the right to do is speak to things as if you have fact. You were.
First of all, a lot of people that spoke on the topic just spoke from their perspective on why they don't believe the shit they're hearing based on what they have uncovered. Then you have people that just voice their opinion and just don't know shit about shit. But either way it go, this is the dilemma you put yourself in when you make a story public and then want to control that element.
Not there. You weren't in court. You weren't there when anything happened to any of us. So you are wrong for sitting in the position that you're sitting in. Nobody set that man up in our era. I can't speak to what happened in 2017 or 2018 because I don't know those individuals. Never had a conversation with the Savages. So never met the Savages. So to say that Tim Savage is the person.
Notice she said never met the Savages, never coerced with the Savages. Nobody said you did, but you're leaving out other people that you very well did communicate with. You know, they had specific individuals out here being their voice, speaking for them, you know?
And the reason
Devontae,
why.
Hold on. Devontae, you just said us.
Yes, us, because she spoke about all of the people that were part of the docuseries. I was in all four.
Wait a minute. Devontae, you are from
Surviving R. Kelly.
Oh my God.
So I love my Black content creators. And unfortunately for me, because I was attached to a national disaster, it's difficult for me to just pop in.
A national disaster? What type of shit is this? And what kind of bullshit? See, this is my point. They always try to flip the scenario. R. Kelly is abusing his authority and shit. And you see how niggas just be acting when you done been on TV and you still ain't shit in life? Like, what the? Oh, shit.
in people's chats and have an opinion about anything. It doesn't even have to be R. Kelly. When I started following your channel, it had nothing to do with R. Kelly. I came in contact with you through Sean Davy Wade, who I love and adore. You know, I've been following Sean for 4 years because of his Surviving series. Had nothing to do with R. Kelly. There's several Black content creators that I follow and that I have supported throughout the years that don't even know that I'm in their bushes. But it pisses me off when,
like I said, when people tried to come out here and create all this distraction bullshit with who the ops and all this other shit, I just feel like if people had stuck to their content and stuck to the focal points, things would have transpired a lot differently. But yet, as she stated, her and people like her, they be in the bushes, they be watching this stuff, so they be ready to jump. And like I said, shit happened when you did that. So to then have people out here fueling the fire and then keep running to the prosecutors, R. Kelly doing this, R. Kelly doing this, he intimidating witnesses, The fuck? I must have been in the Twilight Zone.
People go and speak to things that they have nothing to do with the heartache, nothing to do with any of the incidents that occurred. You speak about people's parents, you know nothing. We were runaways. We were 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old children.
12, 13, this motherfucking age gets lower and lower every time we turn around. 12, 13 runaways. And we the people, because you brought this story to the public, we are wrong for asking questions. Like, what the fuck is a 12, 13, 14, 15-year-old running away? Like, it's so many questions you open the door for that lead people to be like, Because just being honest, I meet a whole lot of people in that same category, delusional as fuck, make up a whole lot of shit. Not just trying to put everybody in that bracket, but I'm just saying, you make these stories public, you get mad at people's natural responses to it, then they want to tell us how we glorifying these celebrities when that's exactly how they saying they fell in this situation. Like, how do you put us in the category you fell into when everybody ain't like that? So now we got questions. That's why you got goofy ass people out here talking about where were the parents. Because your ass out here talking about you was out here 12, 13, 14. It's not adding up.
You telling me we set him up? Our parents never took no money from nobody. We never asked nobody for no money. I never sued this man for a dime. My hands are completely clean. The bottom line is what happened to us and what was happening to those women needed to stop. Period. So nobody wants to feel like their biggest favorite celebrity, any one of their heroes, is ill-fated, but they're all human. Nobody comes without flaws. And please understand, the government is 99.5. They don't need anybody, but they have to, according to the Constitution, try you in front of a jury of your.
They don't need anybody, but they needed to comprise a whole RICO of all these bad act witnesses, add more to it after they come with their original indictment, then try to add some more uncharged acts. But they don't need... Okay.
Peers, but they already have what they need to convict you. So now, as you...
No, they already have what they need to charge you. And it's up to your defense to defend you. But if you got a piss poor ass defense and the feds come get your black ass, which has been my fucking point, you just up shit creek. So while everybody up here glorifying this the king of R&B, they pretty much put this man in an average Joe body. Because guess what? Y'all saw.
You speak about Azriel and you speak about Faith. They had nothing to do with the Mann Act or the racketeering.
Is you delusional? Yes, the fuck they did. What's up, Miss Lady T? What is she delusional? She said, so why was they in the indictment? She wasn't in the fucking indictment. Azriel and Faith were. What the fuck is she talking about? But because they up here clocking tea and doing all this shit, they don't want to challenge what she's saying. Shit don't make no motherfucking sense.
because a racketeering charge has to go past a certain amount of years. They weren't even around. They weren't even born yet. So, young lady, please do your homework, do your research. I don't know who you are, don't know who you're affiliated with. They say you affiliated with Sylvia. We know she is a diehard super fan for R. Kelly. So do your own.
Funny she said that, because now Miss Sylvia, she done flipped the script. What they always do. Come out here, they find a monetary gain, then all of a sudden they get to acting brand new. Get to deleting shit. Then won't get mad because people done got hip and start screenshotting. The fuck?
Own homework. Formulate your opinions upon fact and not rhyme or reason. It's based upon fact. We know for a fact that he was sleeping with Rashona at 13 years of age.
We don't know that for a fact. And Miss Missy, that ain't what was in the testimony, in the transcripts, as far as being 13 and shit like that. But that's what the people had to keep zoning in on in order to perpetuate this pedophilia thing. Because a lot of these people don't seem to know what the definition of a pedophile is. Others know. So they keep on with this 12, 13 shit.
Please don't tell me that tape is foggy or not clear, because guess what the feds do? They dissect everything. It's called forensic evidence.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because you ain't mentioned that they also had a federal document that stated from 2008 that yes, that shit was blurry. They couldn't identify the woman on the tape. That was the issue at hand then. Hello? Now, if people are under the belief that there was some manipulation going on with the tape, and I ain't finna sit here and argue back and forth with who I think on the tape, who did all this other shit, when people want to skip around all this, if they want us to believe that this lady done stole this tape, passed it to this person, then you got on the sideline Sparkle over here talking about she gets contacted by Jimmy Fat Neck motherfucking Derogatus to identify her niece on the tape. Like, how the fuck would he just all of a sudden look at the tape, according to him, and know, that's Sparkle niece on the tape. Let me contact her. And then she gonna come tell the public that they were contacted by law officials to identify her niece. And why would they identify her? Why would they call her to identify her niece on the tape instead of getting her parents to identify their daughter? Like, again, people don't question none of the shit these people had to say. There was no solid defense on the matter. And under the RICO, when it came to Aaliyah, the bribery that Demetrius Smith claimed he did, but couldn't even get his story straight on what, did he bribe an official to get the document, or did he bribe the official to get the ID as it stated? So to then speculate on the fact that he did all of this because there was a sexual affair going on, he believed she was pregnant, so he decided to marry her. You're going to put more incriminate, like none of that shit make no damn sense. Anyways.
So all of the things that you're sitting here speaking to, you have no validation or any credence to even speak to it. You weren't in the courtroom in New York. You're not a forensic specialist. You're not a forensic analyst, and you did not analyze, or were you privy to any of the evidence? Because the evidence, for the most part, was redacted from the public. It was only allowed for the jurors. How do I know? Because I was there. So I'm going to drop my mic right there. You have a blessed fucking day. Have a...
She thought she ate too. But my thing is, if these people gonna charge this man under the RICO, the racketeering, under trafficking, everything I know regarding trafficking, they could set up, stings to get all these people accountable, these enablers they claim they was going to be holding accountable, the enterprise, as they said, all these people that's helping facilitate this shit, instead of letting people who have questionable backgrounds get on the stand and be able to say, well, I did this and this, and it was on behalf of R. Kelly. then come back to double down and say, I never seen him abusing minors. But the premise of their whole argument is he out here dealing with 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds. Can't make this shit up.
A blessed fucking day. You know what I'm saying?
Can I speak?
Conscious. You already know. Hold on. I was talking to Conscious. Hold on. I was talking to Conscious. I don't want to be rude. Conscious. You know how Scorpios are. She been talking for hours, Conscious. We've been listening to her for hours. We've been listening to her rant, rave, and talk in circles for hours. And the only thing that she can seem to speak to is things that are having a negative hue. She doesn't speak to anything that's been documented, that's been backed up by document, fact, or court record. So I don't do that. You know how Scorpios are. You know, we directly to the point, and we don't have no time for the games and the garbage. We will cut your ass with a razor and then pray over your ass and throw some oil on you and go on home.
That part. Yeah, wish you well.
Baby, I sat as long as I could. I'm over here boiling.
Look, I would have had you up here had I known.
I'm over here boiling. How dare you? How dare you?
Wow.
How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? These allegations and court documents started in 1994. What year were you born in, young lady? That part. I'll wait for it. Come on.
Do you want to listen for her response, Javon?
Absolutely. And I don't mean to bite her head off, but I listened to her berate us for hours.
You didn't bite my head off at all.
Okay, well, I'm glad, Queen, because I wouldn't treat you that way.
I stand 10 toes down about everything that I said, okay? Javante Cunningham was definitely a part of Surviving R. Kelly. Now, if you go and watch Surviving R. Kelly, on that docu-series that she got paid to be on, she never said that she was a victim, that she had sex with R. Kelly. It wasn't until trial 2 years later, fast forward, okay, when she decided to want to be a part of the case and said that, oh, he had sex with her also when she was a minor. But she was not a part of the actual victims. She just was a witness. That's what she came in on. See, they tried to do some play to right before trial, where now all of a sudden she's saying that she was a victim, that allegedly he had sex with her or he messed with her. But on Surviving R. Kelly, she's the one that said that she seen him do something to Aaliyah on the bus.
Now drop your mic right there so I can revamp your facts. No, because you're telling me about. Hold on, you're telling me. You're telling me about my life. You're wrong. You're telling me about my life and you're wrong. Young lady, I was a part of the first case in 1994. The things that happened to me were spoken about years ago. I didn't go looking for lifetime. I didn't go looking for the feds. Get your facts straight, baby. They came looking for me. Okay.
What first case? What first case? Everything that done came out on these platforms, y'all ain't never seen them put nothing with her damn name on it as far as no case. Furthermore, another point, when they brought these stories to the public and didn't want to get all mad and boiling, God damn it. Did you never think of the process that we're thinking that if this happened in 94, he was like at a lower level in his career. So everybody just sat back and allowed him to shoot up. Even after the trial, shoot up. Everybody know this. Everybody know that. And we, the public, are supposed to believe that now's the time that everybody want to be all hot-tempered on the internet. What's going on? What fueled this? You said all this was going on in the 90s. You don't know what was going on in the earlier time frame with the Azriel and Joycelyn situation. So if you're brought in to perpetuate this narrative that over this whole 30-year span, he been doing the same stuff, even though for far as anybody else can confirm they hadn't seen him with any minors, we supposed to disregard that. What's up, Shakira? How you doing? How does that make sense? We supposed to disregard the employees that got on the stand and said they didn't see him with no minors. We supposed to disregard that. Okay.
Okay. And what you don't know about when you're doing anything on television, you don't have control over what ends up on the editing floor. You only have control over what your contribution is. So you don't know what I divulge to those people. And if you look at any interview that I've ever had,
That's a great point, because with all of these interviews, the same thing applies. So when these individuals were used to come tell whatever they told these people, and then these people were able to clip it up, do whatever they wanted to do with it. And now they're being held accountable for these stories that they've told, because now some people done put it in the paperwork. Then you got certain witnesses who maintain that they were supporting R. Kelly, who were in the paperwork, all of a sudden on the stand crying and doing all this same shit. Came to the internet with this same shit.
I've always stated that there were things that have occurred that I did not want to talk about. But if you have worked with him, he has definitely tried you. And if you go back and look at the books that were written almost 20 years ago, my name is in every last one of them. So why are you talking about things?
Girl, bye. Before surviving R. Kelly, I didn't stumble across your damn name. I stumbled across a whole lot of other names, but it wasn't no Javante Cunningham. Talking about.
Are just now coming out. No, you're just finding out about them. Stop speaking fact. Stop speaking in matter of fact, because you don't know us. You don't know much about us.
You was not even at the entire New York trial. What are you talking about?
You don't know where I was.
What are you talking about?
You don't know where I was.
You was not in the court.
You don't know where I was.
The entire New York trial.
You don't know where I was.
Let's be clear. It was stated multiple times that Javante, that her case literally corroborated what's occurring. And they made it clear that they needed her information because the statute of limitations had run out on what happened to her. But her corroborating
Javante is not.
Girl, bye. She was there to corroborate Demetrius Smith. What the hell is they? See what I'm talking about? They was on her so matter of factly. Nobody give a damn about her damn story. She was up there to taint these jurors about all of these bad acts. Very convincing. But the fact of the matter is, it goes in a line with them trying to perpetuate this sexual relationship with Aaliyah. She got pregnant. That's why he had to go do this janky ass marriage certificate bullshit. That's what I surmise from what I got in the paperwork. That was her relevancy. Hell, she talking about.
Everybody else's story is how this came together. You're purely from emotions, like it's fact. How you feel is not a fact. How you feel is not a fact.
She is not even a charged act. That means the prosecutors did not believe her enough to put her as a charged act. What are you talking about?
That is not
what that means. The statute of limitations. First of all, stop getting.
That means you ain't had no case that fit the way they structured these charges. Say that.
If Javante claimed that she was a victim, she was not a charged act.
First and foremost, young lady, before you speak on the law, please educate yourself on the law. I'm gonna leave you with that. Because what
years to
okay, you want, ma'am, you asking me a question.
Javante was not a charged
Excuse
act.
me. Excuse me, ma'am.
Charge act mean? Define it. You don't know. You're just using words.
Ma'am, don't even waste your breath. I have learned that in this situation.
How she gonna ask her what kind of shit is this? She asked her what is a charge act. You're just saying, motherfucker, it's what he was charged with. This is what that's what I'm saying. Because these people went up here clocking tea. They want to feel sorry for Javante and her story. That's nice. But the charge act is what she's talking about. What was in the indictments? What was he charged for, lady?
Me.
In this
he
situation,
was not charged for Javante. That's what that means. She was not a charge act. Asriel Clary was a charge act. Faith Rogers was a charge act. Geronda Pace was a charge act. Javante Cunningham was not.
Excuse me, anybody that was a part of the early years was not a part of the charges because of the statute of limitation. However, everything, hold on, stop talking. You want to stop talking? He was not charged for her. He was not charged for her.
He was charged for bribery.
Ma'am. We've listened to you talk in circles for 3 hours. Now,
I haven't spoken in circles.
Now, I can't, ma'am. I came up here to give you some facts to help.
What I'm saying.
To help try to educate you so that when you present your facts, because I can't change your opinion. Your opinion is yours. That's your God-given right. But what I want to do is arm you with the proper things so that you're not saying things where people are going to tell you that you sound crazy as a fool. Because people that understand the law, that's why they say that understands the law, that's who it's for. Educate yourself on the law. Read the transcripts. Get familiarized with the case. Go back and read those books from 20 years ago and newspaper articles from 25 years ago and research how many cases were swept underneath the rug, how many payouts he had, how long he's been accused of having sexual allegations with minors. Where there's smoke, baby, there's fire. You don't have to believe what happened to me. You don't have to believe any of us.
But what I will leave billboards with Susan Logan soliciting accusers saying, hey, if you know R. Kelly, come to my office so you can get paid. You're talking about Susan Logan's DC Susan Logan's that refused to show up to court that was paying people
for
false allegations. It was getting cut under the table.
Ma'am, I don't know anything about any false allegations, but what I can tell you about it is the ones that I know of.
Logan, right?
And hold on. You getting excited, baby? Don't get excited because I'm coming with that thing. Don't get excited because I'm hitting you with facts. Don't get excited. Just sit back and take it. Just sit back and take it. Just sit back and take it. When you get through talking, if you got the answers to your questions, then it's no need of me talking.
Did you go to Susan Logan's Javante?
Hold on. Beauty and Me.
I just want to know if she got.
Hold on. She gonna answer those questions, I'm sure. But allow someone who has a lived experience of this to help to inform us about the dynamics of how a lot of this stuff played out. Okay. This is somebody who
I'm gonna respect you and I respect your platform, but like I said, a lot of those people was liars and.
Man, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
No, I'm talking to Conscious. I respect you and I respect your platform, so I'm going to go on mute.
Conscious, what I don't do is disregard or disrespect because I haven't disrespected her or came at her in a bogus way at all. So for you to say you respect Conscious and you respect his platform is inadvertently say you're going to disrespect me. So let's not go there, Queen. We don't have to agree. I didn't say I was going to disrespect you.
I said I'm going to respect Conscious and his platform and I'm going to go on mute.
Okay, well, that still says inadvertently. You have no regard for the person that's speaking. Okay, just go. Okay, baby. Go ahead and mute yourself, darling.
Javante, and thank you so much for the mute, Queen. Okay, Javante.
Yes, thank you for the mute, Queen. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean that I have to disrespect you. You know what I'm saying? We can agree on some other subjects. We don't have to agree on this one. However, you speaking about Susan Logan, that was his attorney. So did you ever think?
I know you fucking lying. I know you fucking lying. That was his attorney. You talking about the same motherfucking lady that Demetrius Smith, the same motherfucker that got on the stand with this janky ass bribery, said he took the first girl, Tiffany Hawkins, and other people were being taken to. That lawyer, that was his lawyer. I mean, get the fuck out of here.
Maybe the females that she was dealing with were the females that he was ushering to her because he had one said occurrences. Now, I can't speak about people.
How you gonna say he was ushering to her? He wasn't ushering shit to her. Other people were ushering people to Susan Logan's. Where in there, after so many came, he said, I ain't settling no more. And that's where a lot of the problems started to escalate with people that feel like they're entitled to something. That's another subject. The fuck?
I have no affiliation with, or people that I don't know. And I'm talking about from the early 90s. I can't speak to that. I can only speak to that group of girls that I was with. That's it, and that's all. So some of the things you're asking me, I wouldn't be able to answer you, and I would tell you that I don't know because I wasn't there. Now, let's go back to Kim Fox. You said Kim Fox dropped the charges because nobody called in. That's not what happened. It's called the state had already spent money, the city and the state.
What you mean? Whomever called in, obviously, we saw that the main people that they used was what? The ones from Surviving R. Kelly. So who else called? Who? Huh? Who called? Who called?
They had already spent money on the federal trial. They had already gotten their guilty conviction. It would have been a waste of state dollars in an electoral year.
It was already a waste of state dollars by the fact that why would they come up with this case, then all of a sudden move it on over here to these federal levels, and then you sitting here trying to talk about it would be wasteful and skip how Michael Avenatti janky ass got convicted of extortion not once but twice. People want to skip around how he was running around out here talking about he done took the tape to CNN. The people get up here talking about they done seen the tape and couldn't verify it was a minor. All of this janky shit that happened with that specific state case that led people to see how it was falling apart. That state case?
To take him back down that trial when it's already been done in 2 states. He'll never get out of jail. He can never get as many more years than he's already got because according to the law,
how the hell
you can only do one.
How the hell not? He didn't get no damn life sentence. He got 30 years. What is she talking about? What are you talking about? You sound dumb.
One life sentence. So no matter how many years they would have stacked on his head, he still would only have to do the 1 life sentence. So
it don't matter. Y'all done came out here and got all these people to do all this extra shit. Why not go to full howl? If you saying he is guilty of all this shit, why not prosecute him with all that he's guilty of instead of having to manufacture these charges in a way that inadvertently revealed the flaws within it all?
So that would have been a waste of taxpayer dollars. Okay. So let's get that out the way. Now let's go back to what you were saying about evidences and we're liars. Please understand that any and everything that was testified to was corroborated by video evidence. You want to explain everything away but his misappropriated.
That's a lie. That's a lie. How was any and everything testified to was corroborated by evidence, and the only evidence they showed in New York was some videos of some weird ass shit going on. Again, some adults doing some shit that is not here for me to judge or give a shit about. The fuck?
Penis. Please understand that a popist ass excuse for a man misappropriating his penis with a minor does not fall on anybody's judgment but his own. Period. Nobody put a gun to his head. Whether those people set him up or not, I don't know. I heard things just like you did. As far as me being...
What you mean, rather than people set him up or not? What you mean? See, when they say stuff like this, again, you undermining why people have doubt about how it all escalated because of specific people involved that needed to attach all of this extra shit and then get the illusion that this man is the damn leader of this fucking enterprise out here transporting and doing all this extra goofy ass shit. And then people want to ignore the obvious clout chasers that were out here continuing to make him look hella crazy and get mad when I say, shit, his attorneys might want to get on their job. It don't make no sense to have people out here even implicating you, the attorney, in crimes and you uncheck that shit. So to sit here and be flabbergasted when they don't do too much defending on R. Kelly's behalf, shit, what you expect? Seemed like to me it was a win-win because they got to be all in front of the cameras talking about R. Kelly's attorney, R. Kelly's attorney.
In New York, young lady, you don't know where I was. You only know when you saw my face. That's all you know. So please don't tell me where I was or what I've done, because you don't know. But as it relates to all of these things, you can only explain or speak to those things that you don't agree with, but you can't explain away the video evidence and the facts. Please understand that R. Kelly convicted himself. He did this to himself. My stories have never changed. First of all, what I said in court is what I said on Lifetime. They edited it. I don't have any control over that, nor do I have a problem with stating that. So you talking about.
And neither will we ignore when the people who initiated the whole damn documentary come out and say these people were lying on the damn documentary. So who's to pinpoint exactly who was lying and who was telling the truth when you have merged the two, and now you have given people reason to doubt the bullshit that's being escalated, that's being dramatized, while these people been on these platforms being extra performative, trying to keep people from reading. Because it wasn't my job to do so, to come on my platform and read to grown-ass people. But sit on here and listen to these people do all this extra huffing and puffing about some shit they said happened 25, 30 years ago. Ain't nobody do shit about it. But to this day, all these people on here talking about R. Kelly ain't never did shit for Chicago. Da-da-da-da-da. He ain't. Man, is y'all cool? Is y'all cool? That's that entitlement shit that I don't like within the Black community. Because even if that were true from their perspective, what the fuck does he have to do for you? If he done hustled his way out of in poverty, what the fuck? What is this? What is this entitlement? What was he supposed to have done if that were true, even though it's not true, and people won't go verify that information? Bullshit. All the way to the ground, because it's crazy as hell. To me, the reason why I got offended watching this shit, because it triggers the elephant in the room in a lot of homes, that a lot of people going through similar situations, that have people in their family touching them inappropriately, that come from that type of background and nobody believed them, right? Right? It triggers so many people on so many different forms. And they know that some Black people are so volatile. They act on pure emotion. So they won't stop and start to think. They won't stop and start to ask questions. In 1994, they say he did this. They say he married a minor. They say he's on a tape with a minor. And from that point, he blows the fuck up. He blows the fuck up. Nobody says a bitch ass thing until all of a sudden, now we want to say mute R. Kelly. We want to keep him from profiting off of his legacy. And then we want to come back and reclaim this catalog that we say he was using to traffic underage girls. Everybody knew this is what was going on, but he the only one in jail. Playing on people's intelligence is what I don't like. And this Black History Month, we ain't going. We ain't going. I'm about sick and tired of being sick and tired of watching niggas do nigga shit and then want to come out here, free this person, free that person, but then you want to overlook crooked ass shit playing out right in your face on these platforms with these people because they filled with all this trauma.
About paid actors, people don't have to be paid to tell you what is already known. I tried to avoid this for years because I didn't want any of the embarrassment on my family or my name. But at the point that the feds are telling you and showing you what you cannot explain away, it will behoove you to speak for yourself than allow someone else to speak for you. Then you have no voice at all. So I'm so sorry.
She talking about, and then that's another thing. This goofy ass girl gonna say the feds just can't, like, the feds didn't just pop out the blue and just run up on you type shit. They seen this hit piece. They started investigating this shit. They following the tips that they're being given. Oh, this person can corroborate this. This person can corroborate that. Right? And the black people ain't gonna sit back and say, well, if the feds got you, they must got something. You know why the feds got such a high conviction rate? Because a lot of people can't afford to fight their motherfucking ass. That's why. Realistically.
That you don't understand that we were violated and that this man is sick. He has a problem. I spoke on the last docuseries about how I felt some people had extorted him for money back in the day. Doesn't take away from his actions, baby.
No, it don't take away from his alleged actions. But the fact that, like I said, the government can just skip around all of this extortion shit going on, talking about a fucking RICO, racketeering, split these cases in a way that, like, you could have put all that shit in one, honestly. But the way they structured it, okay, yeah, I see the angle. But for him to sit over here in Chicago and be not guilty of obstructing justice, that kind of defeats all of the bullshit they were trying to put out there. Even with Rashona, oh, she was paid off. It's proven in court she wasn't. Proven in court, the payments people talked about that her daddy was still getting, even though they want us to believe that he was aware that his daughter was in this tape, continued working with him. All the family was still around, cool, all in pictures with her and him. All this shit. We supposed to just believe it.
I don't agree with all the people that have been a part of some of the things that have gone on. But what I'm not going to do is openly speak against a survivor. Because
that's what I'm saying. That's where y'all fucked up. Y'all got in bed with these people that did the extra shit. And when the extra shit caught people like my attention, so that left me to believe that even if you want to get mad, I have to stand with the fact that I'm looking at the paperwork, looking at the charges, looking at how it's being structured, looking at the moving pieces on this internet, and you want me to sit back and not say shit because y'all want to be survivors, but you want to lead your story. We were 12, 13, 14-year-old runaways. I'm pretty sure by the eyes of the law, if you 12, 13, 14 go break some laws, your ass is going to fucking jail. So don't sit here and play these games, right? Don't play these games like you don't know, is all I'm saying. It doesn't equate the fact that if this is what was going on, and it took all these years, and people want to skip that, in doing so, you have exceeded statute of limitations. So now you got to structure this shit right so that you can charge him. Is that justice? Is all I've been asking this whole time. Because if you believe he guilty, that ain't justice. If you believe he innocent, it sure the fuck ain't justice. So as a supporter, I'm here to say, who the fuck is liable? His piss poor defense.
Because regardless of what somebody's parent did or anything else, they're still a victim. And as far as our parents were concerned, we were runaways. There's plenty of missing persons reports from when we were kids. Well, juvenile records are sealed. But however, our parents were no advocate of what was going on, nor did they have a clue at some point. And once they got wind of it, they were proactive. Did they know everything? No, they did not. Did they support it? Absolutely not. So stop putting everybody into a pail and a bucket and making them all one. We're all individuals. We all have individual occurrences and accounts. And you don't have a right to matter of fact it because you weren't there. So you don't have a clue. He wouldn't be sitting in jail if he wasn't guilty. He just wouldn't.
That's a lie. And you can't get mad if people group y'all when y'all came out as a group. Now, if y'all was all individually telling y'all stories, it'd be a different time. If we didn't see people colluding, meeting this person, that person, linking up on the platform, doing shit like this. Hold on. We get back to that. Doing shit like this.
Into the keeping us segregated, not segregated, well, each other. A couple years, it's just one thing. Yeah, where's right? You know, why am I by myself now? Where's everyone else? And so we didn't realize, literally, to Dominique, Azrael, Joycelyn, and Haley is what he started with us. We just we were urinated on. And
how would you know that? You see what I'm talking about? You on her, y'all up here sharing y'all stories, corroborating shit. How are you gonna say that when while ago you was just speaking to the fact that you don't know what was going on, you ain't met the newer people, so you wouldn't know. So just because you were fed these storylines that this man out here doing this, now you got to perpetuate this narrative. Well, he started doing this in 1994, so he's just been doing this and grooming all these girls to do this, and skip the element that whatever he got going on in his household, if he got willing legal age people consenting to do whatever he want them to do, it ain't our motherfucking business. The moral element that people want to keep talking about, he should have did this and he should, ain't my motherfucking business or battle to fight. The point has always been the manipulation they've been playing all this time.
And I hate that those young ladies went through that. Nobody pooped on us. Nobody fed us feces. Nobody beat on us because we could kick Robert's fucking ass. We were badasses. I
used to fight him too, but he hit.
Y'all were badasses, but you couldn't say, no, don't touch me. No, I'm finna go call the police. No, I'm running back away, even though I already ran away. Nothing. Badasses.
Hit me a few times.
He knew who we knew too, so he knew he couldn't fight on us. He knew every black stone in Chicago would have been on his heels. However,
they would have been on his heels if he had fought them, but they wouldn't have been on his heels for messing with underage girls. Man, make this shit make sense. What type of dumbass shit is this? And you see what I'm saying? They want Chicago. Yeah, they got you looking bad out here. They got you looking bad. And then when I see people all in the comments talking about, yeah, I'm from Chicago, I know that you just as goofy as they motherfucking is. How about that? That shit's stupid.
if we hadn't had that type of associative backing, then where would we have ended up, and how would we have been treated outside of being sexually exploited as children? Because
that's enough. He didn't.
You went to, it really breaks your heart to see what he evolved into, and that it started then, and we didn't even realize that's what was happening.
Yeah, but you know what? What makes me the angriest? People, honest to God. And this is the reason why Robert being locked up right now is not really justice for me. It's because we all know Robert didn't do this alone. We all know Robert had help. Absolutely. So justice for me is not like laughing because this man is like, yeah, he's locked up now. It's kind of like, no, that's not enough. Because he absolutely could not have done that.
But they get on these platforms and they say this goofy ass shit, and they wonder why we looking at this whole Rico like y'all crazy as hell. Y'all let these people use y'all. They don't give a fuck how y'all feel about y'all justice and what y'all want, because y'all mad about whatever the fuck y'all, whatever the case may be. They don't give a fuck what y'all wanted. They use y'all goofy asses, period, point blank. This shit make me mad all over again, looking at that goofy ass talking about some, that's not justice for me. But ain't that what the fuck I just said? This ain't justice. The way they pursued this, the way they targeted this man and structured these charges to satisfy their forfeiture of asset ambitions.
he is not. He don't have the smarts.
Well, I think he's manipulative enough.
He's manipulative.
Definitely.
He's the smartest person in the room. He's just illiterate. There's a difference. But
he can't call and book you work like he can't. He couldn't.
He's got Google Voice stuff.
Not then he didn't.
Well, not then. You're right. Back then, you're right.
Okay. You're right.
Back then, I had to call the assistant.
There was no asking Alexa.
Absolutely
Nothing. Okay.
Series, nothing.
Somebody had to do all that stuff.
Well, yeah, he had a girl that would book the flights for me.
But these people,
we're talking before then.
These people knew so many people who sit on interviews swearing they say, "Oh, I had no idea." Oh, so many of them. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Why she ain't say the girl name? They up here talking about they justice they ain't getting. He had a girl that used to book flights for me. Who's the girl? Yeah.
Yeah,
There
that's
was,
true. Famous people, parents that knew what was happening. So
all that definitely knew.
Because
that's neither here nor there. We'll get into that when we write our book.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get into that when we write our book. Yeah, because all these surviving R. Kelly motherfucking participants, now y'all got to go restructure y'all own stories.
For those of you guys who have been asking the second chapter and
you watch
Drink
Champs, girl.
I want to go on Drink Champs.
I wish we could go on Drink Champs, but
how long we were around? We were around every single day. People ask where were we around? People are doing different monologues and things that are giving false narratives. So I just want to clear some things up. We were around every day, all day, for years.
All night.
Overnight. Didn't go to school.
oh my God.
Sneaking out
Getting on the train.
taking Aaliyah, sneaking her out the hotel, trying to steal home people's kids because they didn't have enough food to feed them.
Yeah.
We've always been empaths. We've always been trying to help. And during that,
Hold up. They was out sneaking out, taking Aaliyah. Mm-hmm. That is so damn strange, because didn't Aaliyah mama come out and say she don't know the background dancer? Didn't she say that? Am I tripping? I'm pretty sure she did.
that time, all of us outside of Aaliyah, because she never expressed that she had been abused in any way, were running from abuse at home.
She never expressed that she'd been abused in any way. But you saw her in the back of the child.
Either in our homes or in family homes, or we were being left for people to care for us. So we were each other's safety net. So we met each other one day and craziness ensued the next day. We were inseparable forever after that. And then he turned us against each other and we were out of touch for 15 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He turned us all against each other. It was really, really bad in the end.
What a manipulator.
Yeah. And I was the only one left.
I'm telling you, I couldn't see any of it.
I was the last man standing.
Because you were a child.
Yeah.
Couldn't see what was happening. I mean, I remember him trying to keep me from Aaliyah.
Yeah.
When they split.
I mean, if according to your story, you was sneaking her out and doing shit you ain't had no business, I'd separate her from y'all motherfucking ass too. What the fuck is you talking about? That's his fault.
He expected me to split with her too.
Absolutely.
And he would say stuff like he wouldn't even know her if it wasn't for me. Yeah. You know, but I didn't realize that. I'm like, oh, he misses me. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a weirdo.
Well, he's really good at manipulating you and making you.
Yes. Your parents, this is what he used to tell me. He didn't want me around any of my friends because they're jealous.
Oh, trust me.
My friends didn't like him because they knew what he was doing to me.
Well, we didn't have outside friends. I mean, we had outside friends, but we were with each other so much that I guess our outside friends didn't matter because they didn't go with us. I mean, an array of different young ladies went with us throughout the years, but they were not continuously with us. It was just us. And even the third member of the group, eventually, and very early on, it was me and her. It just got broke down to me and her. And then I looked up and she was gone. And then we were on separate tours. She was in Europe and I was in the States with Robert. And it was crazy how it ended in the end. And, you know, there was a lot of good times. Don't get it twisted. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of experiences. Yes. We've met so many people. We've stood on stage with some
I want to hear Tiffany. I want to hear some music from Tiffany.
You know what? Don't you have song?
I do. Listen, I got your song.
She would give me my CD back, yo. Let me tell you how.
Yo, this girl can fucking sing.
You.
So yeah, y'all could go look up some of these clips. As y'all can see, the first one was Javante Cunningham from Surviving R. Kelly drags a Superfan. This one is Javante, Tiffany speaks on R. Kelly, Aaliyah, and more. And this one is going to be when she hopped up on Pimplo's Live after Azriel Clary went home. Yeah.
Hey, Quinn.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings.
Thank you, sis. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Man, they have no idea.
Nah.
None.
It's been tough. It's been real tough.
Man, I have to admit, there was some times when I didn't quite understand exactly what was going on. But the true definition of a gangster is to move in silence. And I am so just, man, you.
I ain't gangster. I don't know. No gangster on America that got to get on the internet and play all these goofy ass games with this weird ass motherfucker who then turns on him after using his story to get himself out of some bullshit. When he's such a gangster, he would have went up and did something. If what he claimed to be so true about his daughter being missing, which come to be a whole fucking lie.
Your phone froze up, Queen. Or it might be mine. Go ahead. I can hear you now, Queen.
Can you hear me? Okay, yeah, we lost connection there for a minute.
Yeah.
But man, I just admire you.
Queen.
Man, I know I admire you. I just admire you. I appreciate the fight, everything that you went through. You know, I'm praying and I'm pushing for the healing of your family, you know.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that plenty.
And
this fake ass shit. Then they gonna turn around and try to say that this man helped set up this man when all of them played their role. Shit stupid.
Man, in order for people to understand what we're going through, what we've been through, they'd have to be there.
Exactly.
They'd have to be there.
Right. Everybody that's coming on now, man, they're at the end of the war. So, you know, those that came from the beginning, man, this took a lot of time out your life, my life, everybody's life. You know, it just wasn't me, which for y'all to stay tuned with me, y'all supported me, y'all took out of y'all life. And that's what I always get back for. That's what Team Truth is built for, because what I learned through this, it's a lot of broken homes, man. It's a lot of families hurt, and they don't have the help. They don't have the community to talk to. And that's what I want to build. I want to build, dedicating everything to me. My daughter know my mission. Her mission one way, mine are different. You know, I'm going to walk her to her mission. And when she succeed where she at, I'm going back to my mission. I'm never going to leave anyone beside. Man, this is needed, man. It's some people in worse predicaments than my child, and then these other young women that nobody got no help. Nobody got
there's so many of them. And there's so many, not only young women, but young men. What about the young men?
Young men. Oh, we cover them all. We cover the young queens and the young kings. If they open their mouth up, we there. We there.
Absolutely.
So ask yourself, They used R. Kelly to start their little non-profit bullshit. Who they helping now? I ain't seen them do a goddamn thing for nobody else. Who are they helping? Because if you do recall, then you had Pimplo, who fell out with Snitch 9, the informant that also helped to tamper with his daughter. They fell out. They wanted to change their name, so now they're on her as OCOV, OCOV. But they were formerly Team Truth, if you want to look around YouTube and look for some of those clips. Because just like she got up here doing all that huffing and puffing, talking about people that don't know what they talking about, it make a whole lot of sense for people who are recognizing why we're now focused on R. Kelly getting a new trial and other remedies to right the wrongs from all of this that escalated from lies. It'll make sense. You'll see these characters for who they are and why. I wasn't going to be arguing about what I think they lied about, what I think happened. None of that shit. I provided you all with a lot of context clues to lead me on my journey to why I kept the reasonable doubt approach. People wanted to keep dismissing it as conspiracy, do all this extra goofy shit, because maybe they didn't understand the charges. And those that did, they know exactly why I couldn't fuck with none of the shit they was on these platforms doing, including antagonize these people. But that ain't my battle to fight.
Listen, Team Truth is really the next big movement.
Well, you know, I better have a Team Truth sweatsuit.
Hey, the sweatsuit's coming. I'm telling you.
You know what I'm saying?
Is coming. We up.
I wonder did she ever get that sweatsuit?
I need
every day.
Get my gear at, because you know we all stand together. You know.
Listen, trust me.
Together we
I don't want people.
United we will never fall.
That's what I don't want. I don't want people to buy another T-shirt thing.
She said, "Divided, we will never fall." That ain't how they go.
They just support something. Don't buy it. If you buy this and you put this team T-shirt or you just have it in your house, know that you bought into something that's gonna change somebody's life. Right. If you don't feel that when you're buying it, we don't really need you. You know, you can just donate. We don't really need it for that. We need people to understand I'm buying this shirt because I believe in the movement that they are doing. The excellence.
Somebody need to audit y'all ass. That's what I think. Cause what y'all did, what y'all do, who y'all help, and look who in the chat with when he talking to her. Snitch 9 himself. He was going under the account Team Truth 2.0 on this live. But again, they done deleted so much shit. They done deactivated so many accounts. But I advise people to record a lot of the shit they were doing, because I knew that was exactly what they intended to do. Put all this shit out, delete, let these social media influencers come out here, get their little fame, delete all that old shit off their profile, and then come with these new personas and bullshit.
That's going to come out of helping another family, because helping broken young kings and young queens mean that they don't go to prison, mean that they don't die, mean that they don't kill. That's what that means. But see, people want to suppress us and keep us out of that from helping each other. So if we don't understand how to deal, you know, take my family as the sacrifice. I'm fine with that. You could take my family as a sacrifice.
Yeah, they did that. They sacrificed y'all motherfucking ass. Then after they used y'all and got what they wanted, now they want to turn around and jump on the internet and team up with motherfuckers talking about y'all set him up and shit. Even though they teaming up with people that's talking about it's him on the tape, it's her on the tape, they believe he did this and that. but you skipping why they structured these charges the way they did. I couldn't make this shit up.
I know I lost her again, but I think she can hear me. So take my family as a sacrifice. We not mad. We are mad. We still upset. But guess what? We understand being a family that believe in the Almighty, that this was out of our hands. This pain had to come to us. This was where it's supposed to be. So when it came to us, it's fine. And by it coming to us, it made us be able to look past us and see what the real problem was. And I'm doing is building kings up.
Absolutely. Sometimes we go through things not for ourselves, but so that we can recognize those things on other people to help to carry them through,
Yes.
So,
yes.
It's a blessing that you are cognizant enough to realize that it's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than the situation. Is really about the fight and the healing of our children, our men, our women, our kings, our queens, period. Keep up the fight. We standing with you. We fighting with you. If it's anything that I can do to help to further your cause, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Don't hesitate.
I got you.
We love you. We love you. We love you. I'm not gonna hog the line because I know you got people that want to converse with you, but check your.
First they love you, then they hate your motherfucking ass. But you got her portion. Since we're talking about the bribery, and if you don't know, you could always find more videos categorized in my playlist. Now, at this time when I did this video, it was titled R. Kelly versus the Enterprise. I set those videos up specifically like that when it came to specific witnesses such as Demetrius Smith and Cheryl Mack, because again, as I saw with the paperwork, the government was using these people to give this facade that these people working for R. Kelly did this on his behalf, and it still don't solidify a RICO enterprise. It still didn't put the nail in the coffin for somebody like me when you had your witness for the bribery charge who testified that R. Kelly had no knowledge about the alleged janky documents. You have these documents sent to Vibe magazine, had all this scandal around it, nothing happened. Then 25 years later, we're going to allow it to be the cause to facilitate this RICO.
He asked you, did he say, look, I got an issue, she's 15. How did that happen?
No, that didn't happen like that at all. I really can't go too deep into that.
Can you give us a general idea?
Well, I can't.
See, Demetrius knew he done fucked up. And he came out here talking so much. And when people got so invested into him, doing all this extra shit with him, and get mad because it didn't take me having any engagement with him specifically to obtain the information that showed that when it came to the charge of bribery, this man has openly told us R. Kelly didn't have nothing to do with the marriage certificate. So how you feel about if he did this and if he did that and if this happened and if that happened, that ain't even relevant.
Came up with that idea to do that, to assist them in it.
Pay attention. He came up with that idea. We'll replay it.
To that. Can you give us a general idea?
Well, I came up with that idea to do that, to assist them. And the ID that I did get for Aaliyah did not have her age on it at all.
Now, according to him, 2 months ago, What he got for Aaliyah was a fake ID, which had nothing that showed her age on it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the purpose in having these IDs for this marriage is to prove age. I'm just confused how this story keep getting flip-flopped, and nobody's paying attention to how ignorant it all sounds.
I really can't go too deep into that. Can you give us a general idea? Well, I came up with that idea to do that system, and the ID that I did get for Aaliyah did not have her age on it at all.
Yeah, he came up with that system, all right. We're gonna get into that system because this whole thing with the, and speaking of, how do I know they didn't have such a system to get people some fake IDs and come in masquerading and presenting themselves as something they not, and then take their motherfucking ass over here to Susan Loggins to get them a payout? How do I know that didn't happen? I can speculate on a lot, but the obvious thing he said was he came up with that. So to allow people to go into court 20 years after the fact talking about R. Kelly mastermind all this shit to cover up his misdeeds is some bullshit. Aaliyah was the stage, and what he did with Tiffany Hawkins was the system.
Robert really didn't have nothing to do with that other than me suggesting with other people. So. But was he aware?
Robert didn't have anything to do with that. Yet to this day, he's being charged with bribery for getting this alleged fake marriage.
Of her actual age at the time this all happened?
I mean, I knew that Aaliyah was young myself, but to know or to ask if it all happened so fast, man, and to know if he knew.
Now, according to what these people have beaten into some people's brains with this program, R. Kelly has a thing for underage girls. Even when he started his story in the docuseries, he talks about how he let other people know about things like this. But it seems like to me, a lot of these people just keep saying he's attracted to young women, but that doesn't mean minor women. And that's what they flipped in my perspective from this whole story. That just because he likes younger women, now we're gonna flip it and make the public think he likes minors. Well, that's just something they're gonna have to prove. But let's continue.
Aaliyah's age, he did marry her. Okay, so that's as much as I'm gonna say with that. And I was pushed out. I didn't help and assist with getting.
And we said he was pushed out. So all these people that they want to tell us knew this and knew that, they don't have a problem till they get fired, till they get pushed out. Then all of a sudden they want to cook up some type of way to get their get back. He put all these details in this book. He come out here, he participated in Surviving R. Kelly. So of course, if they tell you that after watching Surviving R. Kelly, they prompted this investigation and then they follow up on the information within there, people coming out here talking about all this was edited, then these people come out talking about these people was lying, and this is the foundation of their investigation.
A license for him to marry Aaliyah for the purpose of being okay with it. No, it wasn't. It was to buy time, in my perspective, to make a better decision. But
what does that mean? Buy time? What does that mean?
Well, it was everybody was like rushing him to do things, and I just, man, this.
Everybody around R. Kelly. I guess the enterprise, let's just say, had a lot of influence in telling him what he should be doing. Could it be he should be trying to go forth with this, to present this to the public and help boost both his and her career even more?
This is not right. We can't do this. Well, man, I know somebody that do this. I might can do this, man. But it didn't have her age on it. So that was the thing that got them there. And
you're saying the ID that you got, I guess our question is, you're saying you wanted to buy time.
Now, mind you, when we talk about this, he say he got this ID with no age on it. We got common sense to know, I don't know how you going to get a marriage certificate with an ID with no age on it. Then you get into court and you come to find out the records that they show with Aaliyah is pertaining to some food stamps. So would it be far-fetched to put two and two together to see the nature in what Demetrius Smith is saying he participated in? So, again, where is this government official that was allegedly bribed?
But by getting an ID for her, it actually accelerates it. Right. Because they got married the day after that ID.
It was not an ID that had her age on it. It should not.
So what was the, and I'm not trying to be contentious here, I'm trying to understand it. What would be the function then have been to get that ID, if not to clear the way for marriage?
It was a foolish thing to do, man.
Exactly. He has no answer for that because it's bullshit. Exactly. The fuck? Exactly. Just what I said then. Unlike these other people, when I said something then, I stand on it now. 10 toes. It don't make no damn sense. And then the first thing they want to do is send the shit to Vibe magazine and everybody get their little scandalized stories from that. They want to talk about what everybody knew, but again, nobody did nothing then. Moving on, Aaliyah comes with a second album. They tell us everybody knew she was being abused by R. Kelly as a minor, but when it came to doing her album, if R. Kelly wasn't involved in it, they didn't want to have a party to it. So now we're going to come up with this story that she was villainized, that people looked at her in a different type of way because the Golden Goose wasn't involved in the project. How do we know that's not a red flag that something janky behind the scenes was going on and he ain't want no parts? How do we know that?
What I should have done was call Mary Henderson. What I should have done was call Aaliyah's parents. And that would have been the right thing to do. I came up with Robert, man. It's like having a brother, and man, what the stupid, happened. And all of a sudden, everybody's throwing things at you, and you don't want to get pushed out. I didn't want to get pushed out and to not be there to help them in a way.
He didn't want to get pushed out. So now he mad. He done sat there and put all his eggs in a basket with his Golden Goose. And now he getting pushed out the equation because of some janky shit that he took party to. And now he has a story to tell. That's what it was about. He didn't want to get pushed out. But something he did got him pushed out. Damn, I'm good. How the fuck I just repeat what I said back then? That shit good. Let's reflect on that, in case you forgot.
When you got on to Joy, what happened there? Was that a song or some demos that you did? Or?
Yeah, management. Actually, I had got into some situation with management that I was with before I even got signed with Child. I had a manager skip out of town with some money that we had.
Now let's also pause right there, because I'm look at him, look at his head, look at him, look at his structure. Go look at older pictures from this time period. Then you got them passing around these stills of what they said was R. Kelly, and you could clearly look at the body structure and look at. I ain't got to be zooming in on no extra details to figure out no bullshit when the body type spoke volumes. And it don't change the element, and why I continuously asked at that time frame, the police were submitted with this tape, why they didn't come back and get the security footage, considering when this house was sold, it's on the record that they had to remove the security cameras, so you know they were there. So that would have eliminated the issue that I had with the chain of custody, with these people being allowed to position these tapes that could have been edited, that could have been manipulated, that the FBI clearly said certain details could not be validated. So it's just too many red flags, and being able to bring back shit from so long ago and pile on all of this manufactured bullshit to fit a narrative in an indictment. Anyways, another point. Why would I have to sit around and watch all these janky ass people from his so-called inner circle telling shit that he done told his motherfucking self? This interview, for example, when people ask certain questions. At the beginning of this live, I started with his song, 19 whole goddamn minutes, that told you a whole lot of information that people laughed about and tried to reverse on him. But just go back and listen.
That one, from a talent show, and there was a lot of trouble with that. And the day I broke up with him was actually the day I was bumming a transfer, trying to get a bus to get home, and I was walking down 7.
So he talking about Demetrius. He says that this man was stealing from him, and at that time he was fucked up. He was trying to get him a ride to go do some shit. So shit was going left. And this man over here stealing from him. Yet he got this entitled attitude that he should still be allowed to be around and not be pushed out, as he said, and skip why he got pushed out. Janky shit.
Night, and I walked past the Regal Theater, and it said a gospel play was going on, and I went in there, and I asked the guy, I said, "Yo, man, any more auditions going on?" He said, "No, we just closed it up, man." I said, "Man, give me a chance, man. Let me do something. I'm on my last dime here, And they were like, "Well, that's it, man." So I started singing anyway, and I sang the song "Amazing Grace." They introduced me to Barry Hankinson. I sang to Barry Hankinson, and he offered to put me in the play. And I said, that's great. So as time went on, come to find out, he wanted me to. I told him that I could write. I didn't want to do the play. I want to write and do my own album. So once I showed.
So you know where it seemed like he messed up? Somewhere along the line, when he broke up with his former management, as he said, he allowed him back in. So when people wanted to laugh at R. Kelly when he said he got a good heart and this, and that, he keep forgiving these people, that was a lot of the red flags that I saw. But again, who am I to judge this person and say what he should have did and could have did and this, and that, when that don't change the corruption that's being allowed in his case, and these people who obviously broke laws being given immunity to get on this stand and put all of their misdeeds onto R. Kelly.
A couple of songs on the piano and a couple of demos. Like, my God, you're right, you can write. Let's take you to Jive Records, and that's what we did.
Looking back, it just seemed like to me, this guy, he knew his days was numbered. So he went along with this plan, and now he's just trying to find his way out without making himself an accomplice. But at the end of the day, everything he's saying is self-incriminating. But let's listen to what he finna say on this one.
Again, we all are a part of the shape that he has become. See?
They all were a part of what they're trying to portray him as today.
Robert Kelly, his music was in an era and about lives that changed lives and helped lives. And R. Kelly, again, hurt some people. But again, it goes back to who he is. And that's who you don't know who he is as a person. But he is not a monster. When I saw Gayle King's show and Robert Kelly said, "It's not me," and I say, "Free R. Kelly." I say free R. Kelly because if it was a crime that he committed, what was it, 20 years against, I don't know, I'm not accurate on my years right now. I'm not thinking about that. I'm thinking about Tiffany Hawkins, the first girl that he was patted on the back for. And Susan Loggins, who was the attorney that someone took her to. If it was a crime.
Now, you heard earlier in the live, Javante talking about Susan Loggins was R. Kelly's attorney, which I said was a damn lie. And then she gonna say that R. Kelly was taking these girls to her. Another lie, as you heard him just obviously state, somebody was taking them to her. And then he gonna come back and let you know who that somebody is. His motherfucking ass. So he's sitting here essentially saying, if it was a crime, why wasn't this person, why weren't you charged? Oh, that's right. You got immunity, goofy. That would need people slow as hell. They got on these platforms doing all this extra shit. The super fans want to get all over there in the mix of some bullshit and get offended because what I'm showing them is, hey, look, this shit, hey, y'all might want to hold on. Every time somebody say free R. Kelly, that don't mean they saying it with pure intent. So it's cool that he said what he said, but hey, I ain't got to show him no nipples to know this shit janky as fuck. Now just pay attention. First time he say this, somebody took Tiffany Hawkins too. Just watch.
Then how could they make a deal? It was all about the money. So if it was a crime, it should have started with Susan Loggins. She should be prosecuted as well for not having him prosecuted.
Oh, guess what? She didn't even go to the trial. I think she had an emergency in the family. So there goes that. And either way, she wasn't there to be prosecuted. She was there to be another witness, just like you.
But not them getting him some help, even the management team. Because I brought it to everyone's attention that this is where Robert was growing because of what he has come up in. See, we're dealing with disabilities, and he has them, yet he's a gift in his music. See, when you cut off the head, and that's what's being done right now. I say free R. Kelly for right now.
You said a mouthful. Cut off the head. That's what they wanted to give the illusion by targeting R. Kelly. But what if it is my belief that he ain't the head? So while people doing all this shit and did all this shit, they missed the mark. Because I don't believe a lot that we saw playing out had anything to do with R. Kelly himself. But that don't change the fact that when these prosecutors laid out their indictments, They took these stories that were being given to them. They corroborated them, even if the only corroboration they had was another person telling their story. They tell the public they had 100 devices, all these videos, all this man on there with all these minors, they say. Then when you come to the realization that all of that was gaslighting to the finest, are you really still confused why people are going to continue to say his cases need to be reopened? And it's nice that people trying to connect the whole Epstein shit to R. Kelly now. But if you ask me, it's all deflection, as it was when it first popped off.
I just wanted to start with Susan Loggins first. And the other attorney that I took Tiffany to.
Heard it, that he took Tiffany to. Let's replay that.
And that's what's being done right now. I say free R. Kelly for right now. I just wanted to start with Susan Loggins first. And the other attorney that I took Tiffany to.
See, this level of stupid is beyond me. And what other attorney? I wonder when they got, I don't have to wonder. I know for a fact, when they got his motherfucking ass on that stand, they didn't play this video with him on her talking about no free R. Kelly. I bet you that. I bet you that. All these people, they keep talking and keep talking and keep digging their own graves. So now we got the connection. Demetrius Smith is the person who helped Tiffany Hawkins get in contact with Susan B. Loggins. And if you go down this alleged history of abuse, who's at the top? Tiffany Hawkins. Go down into her little deposition. She calls, or she says she has witnesses such as Aaliyah. Who now is that the case that Javante was speaking of? The lawsuit that Tiffany Hawkins was led to initiate. The fact that she was also countersued behind that. The fact that these people wanted to position her as the so-called hidden Aaliyah. All this bullshit they put out here, what they talking ass. But he want to say free R. Kelly while burying him at the same time. I couldn't make this shit up. Who was not going to testify in her case. She says she has witnesses such as R. Kelly's A&R, My bad. My computer died. Hold on, let me pull my screen back up. Yeah, no. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, where was I at? About to get real and fully aware of this. Her album with a marriage. Hope they gonna pull a real quite odd that after Aaliyah's death, then all this bullshit comes at the top. Okay, here we go. Tiffany Hawkins go down into her little deposition. She calls or she says she has witnesses such as Aaliyah, who was not going to testify in her case. She says she has witnesses such as R. Kelly's A&R, which at that time, if I'm not mistaken, would have been Wayne Williams. She says she has witnesses such as Javante Cunningham, and we all have discussed her. So back to what I was saying as far as Javante talking about the first case and hope and all this and that. So if according to Tiffany Hawkins' paperwork then, she claimed she was gonna call Aaliyah, even though Aaliyah was denying all the bullshit pertaining to her then. She claimed she was gonna call Wayne Williams, and then when the Superfans was out here doing their interviews, and I'm sitting here side-eyeing the fact that, like I said, it was a lot of people that could have been subpoenaed and brought into that courtroom to testify that were left out the equation, regardless how you want to look at it. So when they had the A&R Julius on the stand testifying, but they're talking about a history that expound 30 years, why wouldn't you get the original A&R who's already been implicated in this paperwork that was supposed to testify for this person who wasn't credible then? Wouldn't that have made a lot of sense to have this person who's on the record, Wayne Williams, saying he never saw this and never saw that, to debunk these lies as far as even Tiffany Hawkins, for example? Her janky background as well. These were the people they were going to call, but they knew very well they were not going to take this case into a criminal matter. So none of those witnesses would be necessary. They just put those people on the paper. If you also do a little research on the case, Barry Hankerson was also mentioned in this so-called suit. Why? Seemed like to me personal envy from Demetrius.
I didn't get no money.
Oh, but don't nobody ever want to talk about Barry Hankerson role and why. If people wanted to talk about a Rico from 30 years ago, if you didn't include him in the matter, I don't know what they expected.
It's not about the money, see, and that's why I'll speak out now, see, because
it's about the money. Because after he set up the little plan and started the first person into getting the money, and then all the other women followed in pursuit, being led by people in his entourage. Obviously, the people in his entourage, every time you find one that has been scorned, you have something like this happens.
Entertainment is
tonight. R. Kelly is an R&B superstar who has endured a scandal that could have killed most careers, but now a new book with a Houston connection threatens to open old wounds for Kelly, who will be in the Bayou City next month. Isaiah Carey, live in the newsroom tonight with the only on.
Ain't this kind of mirroring what we see right now? When it comes to who's watching Shorty, Rashona Lampert's book that's conveniently coming out while people are anxiously awaiting R. Kelly's attorney's paperwork, which has now been extended to February the 18th, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me double check, because I don't want to give y'all no wrong information. Yep, February 18th, Bo has to respond, and he has been told, no more delays. Get your shit together, motherfucker.
Fox Report, Isaiah. Well, Tom, that book will be released online this Friday and in bookstores the following week. It's one man's account of living and working with R. Kelly, alleged secrets, scandals, and all.
I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky.
R. Kelly has been a celebrated R&B singer, penning hit after hit, but the Chicago native comes with baggage.
Who would not identify herself in the sex tape that was exposed. She's also mentioned in the book.
In 2002, Kelly was charged with child pornography. He was eventually cleared, but this new book, the man behind...
You hear what she said? The Jane Doe, who's also now writing a book, was mentioned in his book, and people acting slow, why she has every right to want to try to tell her story as she wants to tell it now. And what they can do is they can listen, they can read it, they can entertain it, but that story does not align with transcripts. That story does not align with factual information. That story does not align with, even after surviving R. Kelly, she reached out to R. Kelly. That story does not align with, even as he sat in jail, she was putting money on his books. That story does not align that the Jane in New York also being told that he was still dealing with Sean, who a lot of us didn't even know as Sean, while she coming out now talking about she assumed the name Sean and everybody knew her by Sean. Only certain people knew her by Sean, but we, the public, didn't. Anywho.
The man threatens to dig up old skeletons. It's written by Kelly's former personal assistant, Demetrius Smith, and almost predictably, there's a Houston connection.
Demetrius Smith exposes it all in the book.
Rashawn and Lanice Clark are Houstonians who published the book under the Book Talk label. Lanice is also Smith's niece.
He's not doing this out of spite or to be evil. It's his own release.
The book tells a story from Demetrius.
And this is another telltale sign that the people in R. Kelly's entourage didn't have his best interests in heart. You want to know why? Because look at today, and look at artists like Future, and look at all these other mainstream artists. And when a scandal breaks, you know what they do? They get their attorney to issue out gag orders. You want to know why? Because they don't want these motherfuckers talking to the press. If anything is going to be leaked, it's going to be court documents. That way, if the person is convicted of a crime, you will have an accurate story and not just gossip in the media, which is what we see in this case against R. Kelly. And I stamped it, because the same way these goofy ass motherfuckers, super fans and all that, they know how to get my specific videos removed that they don't like. But they fail to realize that I could always restructure that the way they restructure these motherfucking charges, because I don't give a fuck how they feel. At the end of the day, if people were working on R. Kelly's behalf, wouldn't be no 25 years and nobody writing these salacious stories, building up this so-called history so that now we can conveniently rewrite history and formulate, well, this man has a history of abuse and all this other fugazi ass shit. And then these so-called accusers want to come out here getting mad because people with common sense want to know, why ain't y'all go to the police? Why y'all sitting here saying everybody knew this and knew that and didn't nobody do shit? Y'all on these goddamn lives sharing y'all stories talking about, oh, if he would have put his hands on me, this and this would have happened. But this and this didn't happen while you sitting here saying that he was sleeping with you while you were so-called underage. Make it make sense. This shit's stupid as fuck. What's up, Skylife? How you doing? But this shit crazy than a motherfucker. All this shit these people have allowed to go unchecked. Even the news. Can sit here and let any random person get up there and tell some shit and they not vet that information. Period. In doing your research, you will come across articles such as this, which will point out how in 98, Tiffany Hawkins settled her suit out of court. So all this nonsense other people are bringing up, what the hell ever, is just nonsense. Anybody could take out a civil claim, and with the artist that is touring and doing all this traveling, it may be advised to settle out of court than to keep going back and forth to court pursuing this. Now, go back to the beginning of the song. R. Kelly out his mouth said, my lawyers told me to settle this, even though it's bullshit. What'd he say? Protect your career. How the fuck would he know that in taking these people's legal advice, now these people could structure all these settlements talking about some payoffs and all this other goofy ass shit? But at some point, once all these other women start going to the same attorney, R. Kelly's attorneys got a little wise, and they said specifically, R. Kelly has settled 2 other underage suits out of court, but lawyers for the star now say the cash machine is closed, which means from that point forward, they were going to fight. So how they expect us to believe now that all these trauma-filled motherfuckers on this platform, we supposed to believe that he got he broke because he done paid out all this money. But this article right here, she said, go look at the articles, right? This article motherfucking say that after the 3rd lawsuit, 1, 2, 3, after the 3rd lawsuit, he said the cash machine is closed. So anything that could have occurred in between would let me believe it's fraudulent. If anything else came through. We know he didn't handle the money, right? We had the Olsen twins out here telling us he was even getting stipends, correct? Wasn't that corroborated? It's funny when things would benefit R. Kelly and it was being corroborated. Nobody wanted to hear that shit. But when these females get on here, get the hooping and hollering and shit, go look this. No, why don't, before you get on another live and talk that shit, why don't you come with the receipts? Why don't you come with the documents in hand and point that shit out? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Because I'm calling it bluff. And that was the reason why I strategically put my content out the way I did, because I'm watching these people do the most. Every time somebody came out with some useful information, they got to strategize how they could gang up on these platforms and go from platform to platform, fueling the lies, the emotion, the clickbait, because they don't want to go seek out the truth. They don't want to get it from the horse's mouth when he spoke on these things. Even in his past interviews, go look that shit up. Go review it. Stop letting the media, every time you see his name trending, you don't then come back and say, so what's up with his new trial? What's going on with the case? Because lo and behold, I've already stated, when there is something going on, when there is motion, when there should be some defending going on in court, it's always distractions going on, deadlines being missed, and people don't want to see the bigger picture. Like, for example, according to the information I read, Bo essentially said that he was trying to meet with R. Kelly, with Daryl McDavid, about some new evidence that would be needed to finish out his motion. So that's supposed to be the reason why there's a delay with him filing his motion, because they haven't reviewed all the new evidence. So my thing is clear. We put all this information out here for a reason. We saw a lot of that information didn't make it into court. So it ain't for me to sit here and keep going backwards and sugarcoat the solid information that could be further explored, that could be further demonstrated on these platforms, when we see all these other people, they too busy with the clickbait shit. But the people that support R. Kelly should be adamant in sticking to the truth, because when you add all that extra shit in between, it throws it out as a whole. Same way with Surviving R. Kelly. If they put people that they want to say are more credible than the next, they want to say these people are liars, then get mad when people like me started to look into the things that they were saying, because as a whole, it didn't look credible. You can't get mad as a supporter if you meshing a whole lot of bullshit in with solid information that people should look into before they formulate their opinions on what they think about why these people were motivated to take party to the bullshit. So they had to figure out another way to try to get money out of R. Kelly. And that's exactly what they did. Period. So let's go on as I get ready to close this video out, because I see Demetrius Smith now trying to disassociate himself. Now he's coming out talking about, I never said I was a manager. Yes, the fuck you did. You said you was the tour manager, and then there was this assistant talk. At the end of the day, don't backpedal now. You've said pretty much everything we needed to hear to know that all of y'all are full of shit. And furthermore, this just also demonstrates my point that they always be on these platforms lurking in the bushes, watching, ready to insert this and insert that. But then they would always get mad when they get pushback. They would always have motherfuckers like Snitch 9, Larry McGee over there talking about people doing this and doing that to the witnesses. You got them getting on the platforms, boohoo crying. Oh, I'm being intimidated. I'm being threatened. Meanwhile, there's some weird ass motherfuckers out here literally threatening and intimidating right on public platforms, open display, going unnoticed and unchecked. And nobody cares. And they think I'm supposed to feed into these sob stories. I cannot. At the end of the day, like I previously stated, you can go and look up a lot of the information that I put out here in the videos. That I have specific playlists. This one is R. Kelly and Aaliyah Exposed. In it, I did a whole lot of videos breaking down what led me down the path that I went down when I started to see the inconsistencies with the specific charge, bribery, and notice people wanted to keep putting the focus on what they think happened. If they think a sexual relationship happened, that started to merge into, oh, Aaliyah was pregnant. Then you had the motherfucker Legina Gold pop out talking about she, Aaliyah, and R. Kelly daughter. You had Jaguar Wright co-signing her motherfucking ass. And again, it was all cool. It was all shits and giggles. But nobody wanted to catch on to the fact that I ain't finna be sitting here opening myself up to be arguing with all these different people in all these different so-called sectors, because they have people in their chats. They have these moderators. They have these people fueling the content that they put out. When I can sit on my platform just like this, I can go live late night, not give a shit who's in the chat, who's not, to make my points, to trigger you to go back, look through my work. If you have any questions, ask me those questions. If you can't break down the specific message that I'm sending with the screenshots and how I felt like people were meddling and interfering with the process, which was not needed to document the information, because worst case scenario, if everything the people on the opposite side said was true and R. Kelly was not going to get out of jail from their perspective, wouldn't it be common sense for people who know just a little bit about common sense? Wouldn't you want to keep anything that could be used as new evidence, since people running around here talking about civil rights violations and all this and all this and all that, but they don't want to zone in on the corruption? Anywho, I'm going to leave y'all with that. I hope y'all have a blessed day, a prosperous week. We'll see how this content goes the rest of the week. How y'all liking the Surviving Lies? Because that's my little baby right now. Cash done came and gave me a baby, and I'm finna nurture that. I'm finna nurture it, because it's far past time for somebody to act on the original blueprint that they gave. People skip how I got a lot of the information that I got. Not by trying to meddle, not by trying to be all in the mist, and damn sure not trying to scam the public for my own benefit, because I've never requested anything from anybody. But what I wasn't going to do is keep being repetitive with information that I know to be true, because I'm very aware that there were people all these years that were trying to discredit everything positive that could come out to give you a second thought about the information that you're being subjected to, instead of joining these hate trains, instead of turning a blind eye to what I feel like was the most corrupt case that I've seen in my lifespan, period. With that, see y'all later.